Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm Amy and I post 3 videos a week. I post a lot of 3-day foundation wear tests, full face first impressions, foundation roundups, monthly makeup favorites, things like that. If that sounds like your kind of content, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on mine. In today's video, we are talking all about Pat McGrath blushes. I have 4 shades here. We are going to swatch them, discuss the colors, compare it to some other things in my collection, things like that. And I don't want to make this intro any longer than it needs to be. So if you would like to see all of these swatches of the first 4 lightest shades of the new Pat McGrath Divine Blushes, then just keep watching. Are you guys ready? I have already worn these, swatched these, and everything like that. And hold on, I have a hair on my face and I can't think. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you really should, because there are sneak peeks of stuff to come all the time because I can't wait and I need to put them on my feed or in my stories. So if you would like to see things as soon as I get them, go follow me there and then possibly see a whole video here. But I ordered these as soon as they were available, you know, at like 9 a.m. when she lets her email list have access earlier than everybody else. And I got them pretty quickly, and I thought about doing a whole video dedicated as soon as possible and getting it up. But then I was like, I don't know if I want to do a whole video on just these blushes. So I wasn't going to do it, so that's why this is a little bit late. But then I was like, I believe it comes across on my channel, I'm not sure, but I am a Pat McGrath stan. Like, I love that woman so much, and the majority of the products that she owns. So this is completely biased based on the fact that I love her. But I'm gonna be honest about how I feel about the blushes. So I decided to go ahead and do the video, and hopefully it's short and sweet video. So let's get into it. Okay. So I bought 4 of the blushes, and mainly that was because I just couldn't decide at all. And I woke up and I had a basically like lapse in judgment. I was like, I need to just buy the first 4. So before this released, I had been on a month-long no-buy, which I didn't tell you guys about because I feel like if I tell people about something, I am the opposite of most people. Most people are like, here, you're gonna hold me accountable. Whereas me, I'm like, well, now that you want me to do it, I'm not gonna do it. So I've got issues, but that's beside the point. So I got 4 of them, is basically the point of that. I'm going to pull these up on the Pat McGrath website so I can read her descriptions of the colors and then kind of like agree, disagree, expand on. So Flirtatious, they've called this a soft beige demi matte. So all of these blushes, except for a couple of them, are matte blushes, and she's calling them demi matte, and I think that's just her way of kind of not making you scared of a matte blush. But just most powder blushes are matte, you know what I mean? They're just matte. I don't think that these are anything demi matte. I think they're just matte blushes. I agree with soft beige pink for sure. This to me is the kind of color that I would want in like a lip liner. Like, it's like the perfect neutral nudie color, and I think it is the, looking at the picture on my phone here, the picture has more life to it. It looks a little bit more brighter, a little bit more peachy, whereas in person it's definitely like a nude, like a pale nude blush. I mean, look at it. It's on this finger. It is my skin tone basically. And I think because of that, this is the shade for you if you are super fair and you don't want pop-in blush. This is a very soft blush color and pigment. This one has the least impact on my skin. It would be great for like an everyday neutral look, a no makeup type of look, or if you're someone who prefers bronzer and you just know like you want to add a little bit of blush but you don't want it to do very much and you're fair. I would say if you are any darker than me, you're not going to find much use in this. It does not have much to it. Me, I like this kind of thing, but I am more into blush and playing with my blush and playing up my blush on my cheeks. So this to me is like, if I wouldn't have gotten all four, this would probably be the one that I wouldn't have gotten. You know what I mean? Like if I would have got only 3, then I wouldn't have gotten this one. And not based on it being bad or anything. It's just that it's very not special in my opinion, unless you are very fair and you've been looking for something exactly like this and you can't find that perfect tone. I think it's a beautiful tone. I think it's a beautiful formula. It looks great on the skin, but it just doesn't do very much compared to the others. Okay, maybe it is less matte than I thought. Okay, so I have swatched on my hand here Flirtatious next to Milani's Romantic Rose, because the pigmentation on the cheeks is similar to me, to where it's like a great blush if you want to tone down a look or blend a look and not add a lot more pigment. So hold on, let me come here. This is the Milani Romantic Rose, and this is Pat McGrath's Flirtatious. But I wanted to show you that there is like a little bit of a reflect where I think, I don't know, I think you can tell that the Milani one has like quite a matteness to it, where the Pat one does have like a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of a shine to it. So I wanted to throw that in. Since I am late on getting this up, let's talk about comparisons as well. All right, Nude Venus is the next one. She calls this a peachy pink with golden pearl. So I would agree with that. And this, it says it has a gold pearl, and I want you to know this is not like NARS Orgasm kind of pearl. It is a very, you see that on my, I spread it out on my hand. You see that like tiny little reflect to it. It reminds me more of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk blush, because I feel like this might be more similar. Because when I heard that it was a peachy pink with a gold flip, I was like, oh, NARS Orgasm, obviously. But it doesn't have that much of a reflect. So the color obviously is not the same, but this is Pillow Talk and this is Nude Venus. Nude Venus is like, see how I would even consider this peachier than this. This is more corally to me, like a pinky kind of color, but I'm not seeing, there we go. Hold on, let me pull it back a little bit, because when I go up so close you can't see the reflect as much. But do you see how they're very similar kind of sheen reflection to them? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if it's showing up to you, but this has a very similar, like simple, like you can't see any glitter. It is not like a blinding highlight. It is very much just like a beautiful reflect. So that is that. That's the that on that. Oh goodness. Okay. Next color we have here is Desert Orchid, which is considered a bronze rose with golden pearl. So I definitely agree with bronze for sure. This is the most orange leaning. Like, let me show you Nude Venus. Nude Venus, see how rosy, pink, corally it is? Very orange. Flirtatious, very mauve-y nude kind of color. And I'll go ahead and show you NYMPHETTE, very, very much more pink. This is definitely the most orange. So I like that she called it bronze, because bronze makes sense. Rose, Sure. Sure. So let me swatch this color and see if I can get a feel for it. You see, it's like this. I actually want to, there it is. See how orange it is? And it does have like almost a like duochrome effect to it. Do you see that? How it's like bright and then darker, rosier. But I want to compare this to Warm Honey. I do think, yeah, Warm Honey is a bit deeper, I think. So, since Desert Orchid has a reflect, I am gonna mix the matte and the shimmer together when I do this swatch. So they are similar, but Warm Honey by Cover FX, Pat McGrath Desert Orchid. Warm Honey is a little bit more rosy and a little bit more deep, but I really like having Desert Orchid. I don't think I have a color quite that orange in a powder yet. I do have the Flower Beauty Pinched blush, as well as, that's a liquid one, as well as the Salt New York Tangerine. Those are both like my orangest blushes, but I think this is really pretty, and this one does have a really nice sheen to it as well. And I'm gonna call it a sheen because it is not glitter. You don't see any shimmer. I don't, like, to my eye, I can't see any glitter particles. Like, that's how crushed the pearl is in the ones that are with pearl. Next one is NYMPHETTE. This is called a soft pink with a golden pearl. This one is the most like vibrant pink. Let me show you Nude Venus. Nude Venus, a little bit more rosy. Flirtatious, a little more muted mauvey nude to it. And then obviously Desert Orchid, very much peachier and more orange, more warm toned. So this one is the most pink. So if you like a pink blush, this is the palest one that is very pink. And I'm gonna swatch it on my finger. This one does have some pigment to it and a really nice like reflect to it as well. As you can see, it's very pink. I feel like this one might be close to the Cover FX Mojave something? Mojave Mauve? But I do not have that one. Let's see if I have anything else. Yeah, I don't have anything quite this pink that is a powder. Most of my powders lean a little bit more like sunburnt kind of vibe, but this is such a pretty color too. But as you can see, we're gonna go back to, yes, the beginning. This one is so much less pigmented than these other ones. It's this one, sorry. You see that? It's like, these ones are so rich compared to Flirtatious is what I'm talking about. So Flirtatious is the least pigmented. I probably will wear it, even though I said it's the one that I probably wouldn't have picked up, but I wouldn't have picked it up just because it's not very different compared to other things in my collection. You know what I mean? Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. Don't know where I was. Very pretty color. Yes, let's see. Because I want my face to be wearable. I don't want to do one on each side. But I do want to show you the colors as much as I can. Let's see. Let's do, you know what? Let's do Desert Orchid, kind of like a bronzer. I do have the Fenty Cream bronzer on. I did it very light today because I wanted the blushes to be the focal point. But let's take a little bit of Desert Orchid. It is this shade right here, which I think for me would be too orange for a bronzer, but I want to show you the color. I'm going to dip very lightly into this. And by lightly, I mean not lightly, obviously. These do have kick up, but that's because they're blendable and pigmented. So I'm going to tap a little, kind of right over my bronzer and then kind of brush it. Very lovely, like none width. Do you see it? I think it's a lovely color. I do still think it's a bit too orange for me to be using as actual bronzer, but for today, it'll do. It'll be fine. And I did lightly set my face because I'm wearing quite a dewy foundation. I'm wearing the MAC foundation. So I wanted to give the blushes like a chance, you know? So I'm trying to bring this up so you can kind of see it, but I don't want to lose too much real estate, you know? So there is that color. Very peachy, sun-kissed kind of, I think desert is a really nice name for it because it does have that kind of tone of like actually the desert. And this side of my face is brighter because there's a window over here. So I would check the color here, but the actual like, you know, it's not this harsh on my face, you know? So there is that one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to show you all of them, but I think I can show you 3 of them. So I'm gonna take my Flower Beauty blush brush, wipe it off, and I'm gonna use Flirtatious in like the front part of my cheeks. You see? It's a nice color. Like, I think it looks really nice on me. It's just like I think this is probably actually the one I will use the most. It's just the least different for my collection. It's a very, very soft, natural pink. I think it would go with warm tone looks, cool tone looks, you know, anything you're doing. It's just very nice and soft, and it does have that, like, it lets your skin be skin, but it is a powder. Like, they will set down your face if you need it to be set down, you know? And I'm gonna use the shade Nymphette, I think. I think Nymphette would be perfect for this moment. So, yes. Nymphette. Same brush. And we're gonna go like here. Don't know if you can tell, but it does, like, I can see that this one has much more of a reflect. Can you see that? Whereas like this one kind of like just lets the reflection of my foundation and base products come through. This one definitely has like a highlight moment that's more of like a natural highlight. So that is what that one looks like. I think you can see the 3 distinct colors, kind of the desert one, the pink one, and then Nymphette. Flirtatious, desert orchid, Nymphette, kind of in that area. And it definitely has that gold reflect. Like, I can definitely, I don't know if you can see gold, I think you just see reflect, but I can see that it's gold on my face. And you see how much pigment that brought to my cheek compared to what Flirtatious did, you know? I don't know. I don't think I can do anything with this. Can I do my, maybe like my chin? Oh, that's so much. Hold on. I am so blushed out right now, guys. This is a lot of blush, but that's Nude Venus. But for now, I'm gonna powder brush and blend my whole face. I'm gonna take Nude Venus and actually use that one on my eyes. That way you can see the color at least. So I'm gonna take the KJH number 10 and I'm going to pack it on my eyes. Let me think. So there is Nude Venus on the eyes. Alright, I'm gonna go put mascara on, maybe a lip, and then I will come back. We will talk about my final thoughts on these blushes. So I put on some mascara and I put on the Pat McGrath lip gloss in Belladonna. So here we go. Let's talk my final thoughts. I have worn these multiple times, like each one different days, everything like that. I love all the colors. I don't know if you need to buy 4 for sure. They are, I believe, $38 a piece. So there's that. Do I think that they are beautiful? Yes. Do I think that they are long lasting? Yes. Are they pigmented? Yes. Do they blend really easily? Yes. I think even though I've got a freaking orange blush as a bronzer today, it still looks very blended. You know, the color looks maybe a little bit off, but it blends. You can't say this doesn't blend. Like, it's seamless. Like, even though you can tell, like, I have a lot of blush here, like, you can tell there's a lot there, it just all looks part of my skin, you know what I mean? Like, so I do think they're beautiful. Do I think they're worth $38 as a concept on their own? No. I could maybe see that they would be worth like $22. That feels like a sweet spot for me. But I know that the reason that Pat McGrath makeup is so expensive is Pat McGrath. That name, that person, comes with a lot of behind it, you know, almost like Chanel, Dior. Those things automatically going to be expensive regardless of what they are. So you're paying for the name. You're also paying for the packaging, which I have heard a lot of people complain about, and I did complain about a lot when I first got it. So instead of, let me show you. So her eyeshadow quads, sorry, this black lacquer gets so greasy with my little finger puppets. This is a eyeshadow quad. Her quads come in a very, very similar package, a little bit smaller. The blushes say Pat McGrath, whereas the quads have like her symbols, her little embossed symbols. So the difference between the two though is that the eyeshadow palettes are just like a magnetic closure, right? You just pick it up. That's how her large palettes are as well. You just pick it up, throw it down, easy peasy. So the blushes actually have a little area right here. I know it wants to focus on my face. Come on. They have this little area right here that you have to push. Now the thing with this one is the way that this is built, because there's a really thick top, when you go to push it, you're putting majority of the pressure on the back half, the bottom half, this half of the clicker. When you do that, it will not open for you. It is still locked. You have to put pressure on the top part of that clicker. So if you are like actively doing that and thinking about it every time, it opens very easily. So I definitely think that they should have thought about that. Or here, let me show you. Actually, you might be able to see it on the actual thing. So the reason that it does it is because you have this little tooth right here that goes into this, right? So as you can see, it's out, it keeps it locked. When it's in, it unlocks it. So when you click the back here, I don't know if you can see, there's a space right here that lets us know it's out. This is hard, hold on. But when I squeeze it, you can see it closes that gap right there. You see that? When I squeeze it. But when I squeeze just the back half, it just locks it more. Actually, it doesn't unlock it. You have to push the front half, which is pretty difficult because of how thick this is. Typically, if you were to have a package like this, it would be on a thinner top, so your finger would automatically push on that top area. Whereas because it's thick, it's like running into a wall to do it. I don't know if that makes sense. But if you're having issues, if you purchase these and the packaging is driving you insane, just make sure that you are like thinking about it. You have to push the top part of it. It opens up very easily when you are thinking about it. It just takes that extra thought. So that is a con actually of this packaging. It is very nice packaging. You know, it looks beautiful, it feels luxurious, but opening it, a little bit annoying. And they have really nice mirrors inside of them as well. And then I did pull out the little box. It is so cute. I love this color. I'm just a little bit confused about it. Like if they were to use that color on, how do I, hold on, on this palette, that makes sense because of the purples. But when you're using it on these blushes and none of the blushes are this purple color, it's a little bit weird to me. But it is still a very, very pretty packaging, and it does have like a, it's like 3D feel, almost like a wood grain kind of texture on it. Let's see if I can show you the texture. There we go. You see the texture? It's almost like wood grain. There we go. See it on the top? It's not on this part where the print is, but it is up there. Yeah, so I would say if you wanted something Pat McGrath, you wanted to support Pat McGrath, you are in need of a blush, one of these colors is really calling out to you, get it. I recommend it. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the product at all. I just don't know if I personally needed 4 of them since I am such a cream blush person, especially at the moment. But I like them. I will use them. I just don't think I will be reaching for them as much as I do my cream blushes, to be honest. And if you want to see all about my cream blushes, I did do an entire video, cheek swatching, arm swatching, all the nonsense right there. I don't regret it. One thing I do regret is that she had, which I didn't realize when I purchased it, is she had it set up to where you could get 3 for a discounted price. So I should have just bought that, but I bought all 3 of these for $38. I did not get the discounted price. So I regret that, but I don't regret having them. I do like it. I think it's a really nice formula. I think all of the colors are really, really pretty. I think the finish on the skin looks really nice. If you are into a powder blush and you're looking for a new one, I think that you'll like it. So those are my final thoughts, and I will also insert the swatches I did on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram or you don't want to follow me on Instagram, I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you don't, I will go ahead and show you those swatches as well on the screen right now. But yeah, guys, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!